Jayson Cash is here in the building. I am so excited. I feel like, okay, so we've known each other for a minute now. We're at least been following each other.
For sure.
And then my most recent memory was meeting Kanye, and you were there too.
For sure.
So what did you say when you first met Kanye?
I seen you at West Side too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been saying you've been outside.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So when you first met Kanye, what did you say to him? Because I feel like we were all like just trying to like say what's up.
Oh man, I had on the DMX shirt that he designed for Balenciaga, like the Rest in Peace shirt. So when I walked up, he seen the shirt.
Yeah.
So I basically was talking about the shirt, and then it was like it was December, I want to say, and my daughter's birthday was the 23rd. So I asked him, can he say happy birthday to my daughter? So I got a video of Kanye saying happy birthday, Carter. It was just like,
really?
Yeah, I didn't say nothing. I didn't say I rapped or anything like that. It was just,
When you have moments where you meet, iconic artists like that, you don't let them know that you're an artist?
Nah, man. Not really.
Yeah.
It be tight. I be feeling like sometimes, especially in recent times, like a lot of times where I'll meet somebody and I introduce myself, I'll be like, well, what's up? I'm Jayson Cash. I'll say that.
Right.
And sometimes they know who I am or they heard about me or something like that. Or if not, I be feeling like the dope thing is seeing me again, moving around. Like, oh, yo, that's a boy that I've seen, or, them being introduced with me by somebody else. I don't be trying to be too high on myself and be forcing myself on people like an artist. Because I don't like when, I don't really like when people do that shit to me either. Yeah. So I be keeping it cool.
One thing about you, I just feel like you're very humble. You're definitely a humble artist. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, people be telling me I'm too humble.
Yeah? Do you feel like that's just like an upbringing thing? That's just who you are?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Arrogance, man, it gets in the way of a lot,
Right.
So that's one thing. And then for two, it's just like, I know all this shit could be gone tomorrow. So it's like, if I walk around like I'm bigger or better than the next person or better than what I am just based off of some clout or some material things and that shit gone, then what?
Right.
So I just keep it cool.
I feel like too, being from LA and putting your city on the map is difficult. Would you say the same thing?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Definitely, because it's like our culture here is like, whether you do music or anything, like our culture is more like, who are you? Like, who you think you are? Like, like it's really like common for that. So when you stepping out and you trying to put something on your back, or you trying to carry the flag or something, or stamp something, it's like you gotta. LA is a tough crowd to win over. It's a lot of things. Like, you could be the most talented person. You know what I'm saying? It's really a process. It take a lot to just win the people over. So I feel like, in doing that, you really gotta have tough skin. You gotta be bold. You gotta be brave, and you just really gotta be hungry and have tunnel vision to not get caught up in like not being champion for things that you see other people get applause for. You'll see somebody like, you'll see people like go hard for someone else for doing the same thing you do, because it's just like, it's not popular to cheer for you yet. You know what I'm saying? So when you know all that, you're just mindful, and you just continue to run your race regardless. But it's definitely a tough crowd here.
Yeah, it is. How do you feel listening to your record on the radio? Like, being from Carson, being from LA, like, I'm sure it's iconic for you.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, super crazy. Especially, I think more than myself catching it, like, at random. I think it's like other people catching it, like people close to me, or family, or somebody that I went to school with that I haven't seen in a long time. They would be like, damn, I was in a car and I heard you, like, like, yo, you really a rapper.
Yeah.
I think that's hella crazy for sure.
Was there ever a moment like in your career where you were just like, man, I'm just gonna give up on this music thing?
1,000 times.
Yeah.
1,000 times, man. So many times. And I feel like that's why it's important to talk about, again, we know, man, everybody only showing like the highlights if you look on social media. I don't want to say everybody, but for the most part, people only post the highlights. So when I talk, or I do interviews, or I speak, or even when I speak to people, I like to keep it 100 about that, because, that might be encouraging for them. They might be feeling hopeless just like I felt hopeless at a time, or, discouraged the same way I felt discouraged, but I'm pushing through and persevering. So every time I reach a new step, it's really like an example that somebody else can do the same thing. You can reach one too, even when it feel like you can't.
When you felt like you couldn't, at what point were you like, okay, I need to really do this. I have a reason to be here. Like, was there ever a turning point where you just had to flip that switch and just go crazy?
Yeah, well, every time I get in that mode, or every time I feel like that, like sometimes I feel like I deal with that now. Like, you know, every time I get in that mode, I just remind myself like I'm in too deep, and I don't want to be the almost guy. I don't want to tell my niece and nephew who they uncle almost was. I don't want to tell my daughter who I almost was. I don't want to be sitting with the homies talking about what we almost could have did. So it's like we gotta keep pushing.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. And you have so many like dope songs with really major artists, Dom Kennedy, Blxst. I mean, Mustard, you've been working with him. Like, talk to me just about, you know, all of those experiences.
It's a blessing for real. Cause like, even with Dom, that's somebody that I super like admire. I'm really a fan. Most of the people that I've worked with are people that I'm fans of. Like, I can sing Blxst songs word for word. I can sing Kalan.FrFr songs word for word. Dom for sure. I can just, you know what I mean? Like, people that I'm really, really a fan of. Like, even working with Mustard is crazy because it's like, you know, being outside during the 2010s, it's like that was the soundtrack to our parties and our functions. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to even be able to share and occupy space with those guys, it's like, man, it's a crazy feeling, but it's also like the reminder, like, damn, like, you in this. You know,
are.
Like, you in it.
Yeah, you've been on the LA Times. You freestyling for the Sugar Free. Yeah. And I know Sugar Free is one of your favorite artists.
He's my absolute favorite artist.
Were you nervous, like, freestyling for him? Like, that was a moment. I saw that on Twitter, and I was like, that's really dope.
Yeah, man, I was praying as we walked, like, to the back room where we did it. I was like, man, God, please don't let me mess this up. Nah, for real. I seen him over the weekend, and we was just chopping it, and he was just telling me how much he likes what I do and how much he respects it. And I just, even the first time he came to the studio, like, I was just telling him, like, man, like, what you've done put me in a position to provide for my family or provide for myself, because it's like I took my style from you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I got my delivery, I got my flow from you. So it's just crazy, man. Like, to be, for your favorite rapper to see you and he tell you the one. It's like, yo, like, I feel like I'm platinum already. I feel like I'm, you know, like, successful already. Like, this is the dude that I, you know how they be like, Kobe, like, took Michael Jordan moves. Yeah. Like, this is the guy. Like, I took all his moves. That's dope. And he see me and like, yo, you got it. Yeah. You know, it's like one of the best feelings. Like,
was that a surprise for you to see him? Did Fuzzy set that up? Did Dwight set that up?
You talking about the first time at the studio? Yeah. No, that wasn't my first time meeting him. It was crazy. I met him. So this month will be the 25th anniversary of his first album, Street Gospel. I met Sugar Free while he was doing an event for the 20th anniversary. So I seen him then. I had seen him maybe like once or twice, but yeah. And you know, I told him how I felt about him back then. So when I talked to Fuzzy, I was like, yo, man, you think we can do something with Sugar Free? Fuzz put in the call. And when Free came to the studio, he was like, yo, man, I've been looking for you in the daytime with a flashlight. It was just, you know. So yeah, Fuzzy definitely made that call for me. And then me seeing him this weekend, I just was at there's these promoters called the Supreme Team. They threw the LA function. I think it's someone called the Academy or something, but that was on Saturday. And Sugar Free just happened to be like the special performer. And I was like, damn, like, it's crazy. So we were able to chop it there. But yeah, it's surreal.
Yeah. I'm sure too, even just seeing yourself on LA Times and being featured on there. What was that feeling like?
Like, man, like, I was literally when I seen it on Sunday, like, it made me super emotional because, like, I put in my caption on the gram, like, my grandfather they really got the LA Times delivered to the crib. Wow. You know, and I used to watch him go through the whole paper, like the whole paper. I used to try to take the comics, and I couldn't touch the comics till he was done going through the whole paper. Like, Grandpa, you know you're not about to read the comics, but you know what I'm saying? But, like, it made me emotional just knowing, like, man, if my grandfather was still living, like, if he was going through the paper like he normally would, it's like he would have saw me in there. So it's definitely super encouraging. And those are, like, the moments that kind of mean the most, those things that hold those sentimental value for real.
Yeah. For real. And you even said, I don't get into the studio and pretend to be something I'm not. It's in my blood. It bleeds into the music. Yeah. So talk to me about that.
I mean, like, sometimes people will hear the music and say, like, I sound too West Coast or too LA. It's like, man, like, that's what I'm influenced by. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that that's all that I can do, but I grew up listening to that. My our family functions and our backyard barbecues and all that stuff, like that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm a child of the G Funk era. Like I came up off Quick. You know what I mean? I came up off Battle Cat, Sugar Free, Snoop, Corrupt, like, you know. And then again, it's laid back because then also like I was super influenced by Dom and things like that, or Kendrick, Pac Div, Overdose, you know. So like it bleeds into the music. That's why it sounds like I'm from here.
Yeah.
Like I'm not from the city of Los Angeles. I'm from LA County, but it sounds like that because this is what's in me.
Right.
It's what raised me.
You get frustrated when people say that you sound too LA?
No.
Yeah. How do you expect to just make a name for yourself all across the world? Because, you know, sometimes people will say that and they're like, I don't know how I feel about LA. Like, what's the blueprint? Like, how do you expect to like really put LA on the map in regards to that?
Well, you got to get LA behind you first. And LA is a big place. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I'm trying to crack the door for myself, it's easier to push that door when I got a bunch of motherfuckers behind me. Like, yo, no, we champion him. It's like Blxst around the whole world. Like he's doing you know, he's touring overseas, he's touring across the country, but it's like we all behind him. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like, for one, granted, like I said, like that's not the only thing that I'll do. Like I do have other influence as well. Like even how you mentioned Kanye, like, you know, I'm a big fan of Kanye. Like Pharrell and Timbaland, all these different people and stuff like that. So I do have other influences. So of course, like it's not just that. You're not just one dimensional. But in the same breath, it's like me and Fuzzy was talking yesterday, and he was saying, "Hey, I don't be trying to put Fuzz on the spot, but he was saying like, you know, it's not just the music of why it sounds LA. It's like it's your talk, it's your slang, it's your demeanor. It's like it's that. So you know, you gonna hear me, you know, and I feel like it's crazy because like when I pull up like my Apple Music or my Spotify and stuff like that, like I have a bunch of streams in like Japan and different places. There's different places that do appreciate what we're doing. So it's like I feel like you just really have to just make the best product that you can and position yourself the best way that you can for it to spread and grow with it. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely I'm intentional about super serving my market. Like I don't want to just skip home and go to the East Coast before I establish my presence at home. And, you know, everybody might not agree with that, but I feel like it's important to do that. Yeah.
And you are in LA, as you mentioned, and you've met a lot of OGs in the game. What was the best advice that you've received from an OG? Because you said earlier you were kicking it with Snoop. So what was that like, and what did he tell you?
Man, it's crazy because like the last time I was in the studio with Snoop, I played him a song off my project that's called Might. And he was basically telling me like, man, there's somebody going up to bat every day. Like, you got to shoot. You know what I'm saying? He was like, don't wait for nobody to just get behind you and put the battery in your back. Like, you really got to get out there and put your best foot forward. And I feel like, and this was right after he played the Back on Death Row album for us. Wow. So he played the album and he literally was talking about how like, man, I'm still hungry. Like, I'm solidified. I'm Snoop Dogg, but I'm still hungry and I still got to shoot. So don't, basically, you know, in so many words, like, don't just be content and laying back chilling. Like, you got to be hungry. You got to be on it like you want it. You know, so that's some good game I got from Snoop. But to be honest with you, most of the game that I got from my OGs, it don't always be like from a direct conversation. It come from literally watching how they move, watching their interviews. Like, you know, you can't tell me Snoop ain't my uncle. Like, I grew up with him.
He's all our uncles, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's our uncle. So it's like watching him, even if it's an interview of him talking to, I think he was talking to A$AP Rocky about closing the gap and all those different things. It's like all those jewels that they drop, even when they're talking, you have to listen, even when they're not talking to you in the physical. Like, they're still talking to you. They still got some news you could use. You know what I'm saying? So I pay attention to all those type of things and just apply it. So even if they didn't say it to me direct, I still take it like they said it to me.
Yeah. Jayson, I'm like so proud of you. I just feel like, I don't know. I know I've been watching you on Instagram, but it's dope to just hear you speak and like really have a conversation. And I feel like we really get to feel you through your music.
No,
and
I appreciate that.
What is it that you want us to feel when we're listening to your music?
Like literally that, me. Like my main thing is, you know, like going back to the quote that you said from the LA Times, man.
Yeah.
I don't just go into the booth and pretend to be something that I'm not. I don't push a button and just turn into this character like, oh, I'm Jayson Cash now, you know? Like I'm a real person. I'm a brother. I'm a cousin. I'm a father. I'm a son. I'm a friend. I'm a homie. I'm all those things, and I put all that in my music. So when you see me, I want you to be like, damn, that's the same person I heard on the song. It's not like, oh, damn, like who is this character in front of me? Is like I'm literally that same person. And I feel like that's the main thing that I want people to take away. Like I'm really a person. I'm really putting that in the music, and I'm not wearing a mask, hiding behind some shit to pretend that I'm something I'm not, to hopefully encourage other people to just be comfortable in their own skin as well. Like I said to somebody recently, like I made a lot of the biggest mistakes in my life, or the dumbest shit that I've done, is when I was wearing a mask and not comfortable in my own skin. Like right now is the most comfortable I've ever been in my skin, and I like it here.
Yeah. I love it here.
Yeah.
What is your favorite record that you would say on the album?
My favorite record on Read the Room is called I Don't Care.
Okay.
It's my favorite song on
there. And why is that?
I just think like for what I personally like to listen to, it's like a song that it didn't have to be my song. Anybody could have made that song, and just from the beat to the cadence, just to the vibe, is like that's something like I'll literally get in my car and listen to. Yeah. Mind you, like I turned in my project in December. It came out in May. Like, so like the songs were already old to us, but that's something that I still get in my car and like I press play on. Like I listen to that for enjoyment. You know, but I really like, there's so many songs on this project that I could literally say like hold so much value to me for different reasons. I can tell you why I said what I said, why we did it the way we did it, why we sequenced it the way that we did. You know, so I'm really proud of the body of work top to bottom, but definitely I Don't Care is my favorite song.
Mine has to be 3 a.m. Why do you laugh when I said that? I just feel like we've all gone through those moments where, you know, you drunk texting a boo or something like that, and you're just like, all right, here we go. We're going back in the circle of toxicity.
It's so crazy. When I made 3 a.m., there's an engineer at our studio, Forrest. He's also an artist, and he does a lot of other things, but he came in the room and he heard it and he was like, yo, I think you just made your best song. I'm like,
it's so good.
I'm like, bro, like, I'm like, nah, man, I got a bunch of good songs. It's not the best song, but he told me that, and that's kind of like, I wasn't going to use it after I made it. Like, I felt like I was just, all right, I'm just getting this idea off. I didn't really think I was going to make it onto the album. But when he said that, and it's dope now that it's out, getting a response. Like my boy One Take Ocho, he left like a voice memo on Instagram, like mocking like my ad libs from the song. I was just like, you know, but yeah, that's definitely, I like 3 in the morning a lot too. Like my team, like my in-crowd team, that's very popular amongst us. But I do want to say something real quick. The dopest thing about this project to me, Read the Room top to bottom, is like, it's produced by my in-house team, the Eastie Boys. They touch every record on this, even the record with Mustard. Like, they touch every record, and these are the same people that I was on the block broke with, starving with, trying to figure it out. They played a big hand in this project. My boy T-Reg, he co-produced Going Outside with the Eastie Boys. He also did, like, Got It All for Blxst and Dom Kennedy. But this was a real hands-on project. Like, even though like people are giving me credit and showing me love when they see me, it's like we all like was hands-on on this. Like, it was literally me and the homies, my in-crowd team, Drew, Trey, my DJ Skyfall, my engineer Andreas. We call him Jesus because he looked like white Jesus, but you know, he was super instrumental in like he knew where I wanted to drop sat in my verses and where to take stuff out of the beat. My boy Mofac that did the talk box. My boy Major Maija who's on Selfish. He's doing background on my intro, Stay True. He's doing background on my. If I forget anybody, charge it to my mind, not my heart. But I'm so thankful for my team because we really did this collectively, like for real. Like we really worked as a unit and really tried to put our best effort for it. So I want to make sure, like, while I have a platform to speak about this project, that I acknowledge the people that really played a part in this as well.
That's dope that, you know, you still have the people that you started with on your team now, even till this day.
But that's why, because when your approach is solid and you know you doing right by your folks and we doing right by each other, like the whole thing is not just to build up me to make me larger or anything. It's also to, you know, we're community based. It's all about it's all of us. So like they feel this project is just as much theirs as it is mine, because it is. Like I wouldn't have did it without them. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and I love even on your record Top Down, it looked like just such a LA vibe. You know, the music video itself. Talk to me about that record and, you know, what that means to you.
That's the so again, that record was crazy because like I talked to Mustard that morning for the first, like he gave me his number. You know, Fuzz hit me. It was like, yo, Mustard said, you know, like he want to work with you. I'm like, oh, damn, that's crazy. So then Mustard, he DM me, gave me his number. I text him like, yo, it's Jayson Cash, and he called me.
Wow.
So like I'm sitting on the phone, I'm tripping, just like, damn, I'm sitting on the phone like this Mustard, you know? So we talking on the phone, and it went from like pull up to the studio next week to, hey, matter of fact, pull up today. So I pulled up that day. I want to say that's the third song that got made that day. Like, like we did one song, then we did another song, and then Top Down was the third record that we made, if I'm not mistaken. Am I tripping? Yeah, so but that was the third song we made that day, and I just asked him, I'm like, hey bro, can you, like, I need that old Mustard, like how you talked on the record, like when I come around, like how you talking on Dom's record. I'm like, yo, can you, I need that. And he did it for me. So just recently, man, shout out to Mustard. Mustard a good dude. My birthday was June 3rd. I went to the club with Mustard. He was DJing in at Time in like Costa Mesa or something like that. It's like midnight when my birthday came in, and he was DJing. He had them throw the song in there, and he threw me a mic, and I performed Top Down with Mustard in the club. And I wasn't even going there for that. Like I literally was just chilling. So shout out to Mustard, man. I appreciate it, bro, for real. Was
that your first time performing that song in front of people?
Damn. Yeah, it was.
That's tight.
Damn, you just... No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I performed it at my release party at the Roxy. For sure. That was my first time performing.
But was Mustard there?
No, he wasn't.
So this your first time in front of Mustard. There we go.
Yeah, that's my second time performing the record. I performed it with Mustard. That's crazy.
That's dope. Well, I mean, Jayson, it's been a pleasure having you here. Is there anything in particular that we missed out on that you just wanted to touch on?
Right now, we in discovery mode. So, man, if you heard Read the Room and you like Read the Room, man, make sure you tell somebody. Make sure you support your locals. Because, like, when XXL dropped and people were tagging, like, man, they didn't put no LA artists in there. And I'd be like, y'all be mad at other publications for not supporting home, and we don't support home out loud. And I'm not even just talking about just myself. There's a plethora of talent in the city. You know what I'm saying? Westside Boogie just dropped. Buddy dropped not too long ago. Blxst dropped not too long ago. Then you got Sham 1016 that dropped. Airplane James dropped. It's it's so many different people in LA that's doing music. Even my boy Epic Must Die, he just dropped a project literally last night. It's so many different people in the city that's doing stuff that it's like, man, just support the city out loud. You know what I'm saying? And then we can get at everybody else when they don't. But it's like we got to start at home first. Like charity starts at home, and you clean up your own house before you clean up anybody else's. So if we feel like anything is wrong with the way that the music scene is in LA and the way that it's supported, we got to make sure we support it ourselves.
I appreciate you for tapping in, Jayson Cash.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Appreciate you.